Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guests tonight, candidates for City Attorney Bob Shannon and Tom Reeves, all on Straight Talk tonight.
Opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Charter Communications nor its sponsors. We recognize our obligation to present opposing points of view by responsible spokespersons. For information, please contact the director of program.
She stands in the face of evil and will not lose hope or faith. America, the land of freedom, is still the home of the brave. So raise the banner, called Old Glory. Let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by Southern California Edison. For over 100 years, life powered by Edison. The Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years. And Long Beach Magazine. Coastal Living, City Style.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We're delighted you're joining us tonight. We have as our guest for the entire show the candidates running for Long Beach City Attorney, Bob Shannon and Tom Reeves. We've asked each of them to make a 1-minute opening statement, and by a flip of the coin, Tom Reeves will be going first, and I'd like to welcome you both to the show.
Thank you, Art.
Tom, why are you running for this office?
Well, I'm running for this office because I believe I have the skills and unique talents that it'll take for the City Attorney's Office, in the City Attorney's Office in the next 4 years. The state and this city are going to be facing unprecedented and perhaps even unforeseen challenges, and I think that my training, background, and experience have made me uniquely capable of meeting and overcoming those challenges.
Bob, you're the incumbent city attorney. You served 3 terms. One time you ran without opposition. I know you have a high regard for the quality of the department that you head. Why are you running for re-election?
Yes, Art. I've been an attorney for 39 years, assistant city attorney for 13 years, and city attorney for 12. Simply stated, I believe I run the best municipal law office in California. We very aggressively pursue the interests of the taxpayer, as far as I'm concerned, and do what we can to raise the quality of life in the neighborhoods. Just to give you a quick example, we've vigorously defended the airport noise ordinance. We've recovered $18 million in the Sempra lawsuit on behalf of the taxpayers, and we've formulated and implemented the Port's Clean Truck program. I'm prepared to continue aggressively pursuing the interests of the taxpayer, and I hope you vote for me in April.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Let me start with Bob. Bob, who do you work for? You're elected by the people. Do you work for the people of Long Beach? Do you work for the city council? Do you work for the mayor? Who do you work for?
That's a complicated question in the sense that I work for the people. I'm elected by the people. But the state law and the canons of ethics, as you may be aware, indicate that I actually represent the city council, the commissions, the committees of the city, and where there's litigation, all of the employees that might be involved in a particular piece of litigation. So the best way I could put that is that I work for the people by representing the employees and commissions and council of the city of Long Beach in a good fashion and providing them with good legal advice.
Fair enough. Tom, you're a 3-term incumbent as city prosecutor. You could have run for re-election as city prosecutor. It would be highly likely that you would be re-elected, yet you've chosen to try to unseat an incumbent. Why have you done that?
Well, as I mentioned when in my opening statement, I believe that this city is going to be facing unprecedented challenges. And I think also that my talent, my skill set, developed not only in the municipal law area, but through the military experience that I've had, makes me uniquely capable of meeting those challenges. And also it makes me, well, not business as usual. I'm not known for doing business as usual. I'm known for innovation and attacking problems head on with new ideas and new approaches. And I intend to use those skills that I've developed over the 30+ years of law practice that I've had and the over 30 years of military experience that I have to bring those skills to meet those challenges and overcome them in the future.
Bob, there are different conceptions of the role of an attorney in private life. Some attorneys are more strictly legalistic and represent their clients in a very legalistic way. Other attorneys are viewed as facilitators. They try and find the way to make a deal work rather than what the problems are. Where would you rate yourself in the spectrum of those two choices?
Well, definitely in the latter part of the spectrum. I have a difficult line to traverse. In the one sense, as I say, my client is the city council. Let's just use the city council as our paradigm here. I represent the city council. I've got to give them the best possible legal advice, but I can assure you that in private, I tell them what I believe to be the right path to take without going too far and delving into policy matters. I think that I do a pretty good job on the one hand, giving them sound legal advice, and on the other hand, trying to steer them in the right direction with regard to policy matters.
Tom, you've been critical of the administration of the city attorney's office. That's why you're running. Can you name one particular decision or situation that you think should have been done differently?
Well, I'll give 3 examples of things that I would do differently. For instance, in regard to transparency, I believe that it would be a very good thing for the city to know in terms of lawsuits or contracts or legal opinions, to have those things made public through the internet so that the public can see what it is that's taking place in terms of litigation or in terms of legal opinions. I also think it's important to understand that legal advice has to be insightful. As you pointed out, sometimes an attorney is more than just giving a cold legal opinion. They also have to interpret the law. How will it play out over time? What other considerations, besides just those that are purely legal, play into making a decision? I think that on time, on target legal advice is necessary. And then the last thing I would do is I would engage in prevention. I mean, I think the city attorney's office has fallen short in this area. I know Mr. Shannon's been quoted in the paper as saying that at any given time there are 30 or more lawsuits involving just the police department. I think that we ought to have a legal liaison in the police department assisting them in training and vigorously assisting them so that they can avoid those kinds of things. Once you get sued, you know, you're kind of on a track that you don't have full control over, but preventing the lawsuit comes from aggressive intervention. And those are 3 areas that I think could be improved.
Bob, the lawsuit against the city by the police officers individually, the donning and doffing, yes, kind of upsets a lot of us as wasted money, money if they are successful that could have gone to salaries. And could you address that as well as Tom's comments?
Well, it's very upsetting, and rightfully so. Many of the claims of the over 800 individual police officers, frankly, are just plain frivolous. But we're vigorously defending the lawsuit. We hope to prevail, and I think at the end of the day, I think we'll have a successful result. In terms of preventing lawsuits, first of all, I want to emphasize that on a per capita basis, we have fewer payouts in litigation than any comparable city in the state of California, and that has been proven out by statistics. Now, with regard to risk management that Tom referred to, we have a risk management department in the city. It's attached to Human Resources, and they do a pretty fine job. And with regard to the police department, I have the full support of the police officers in the police department, and I can tell you that we meet with them on a regular basis, train them on a regular basis to try to prevent, you can't always prevent all the lawsuits, but to try to prevent as best you can a proliferation of lawsuits.
Thank you very much. And we'll be returning with this discussion after these messages.